Jamaica. Make we do the right thing. Make we live good today for a better tomorrow. Talk it out. Don't fight it out. The time by the Ministry of National Security is
6:30.
The Member of Parliament for Central Westmoreland, George Wright, is again a member of the JLP. Recall that he won his seat on a JLP ticket at the 2020 general election, but he left under a cloud after he was strongly suspected of being a man seen in a video on social media using a stool to strike a woman. But George Wright never admitted it was him. The JLP have now accepted his application to rejoin the party. The PNP say it's the wrong move. They've come out strongly, the PNP Women's Caucus, saying it's not in the best interest of the politics for this to happen. The JLP say Wright has served his penance and that nothing is wrong with readmitting him into the fold. We hear from both sides of that debate this evening. Lead story, 6:30 p.m. CVM TV. Let's go. Welcome to Lead Story on this day here on CVM TV. Let's get right to it. Is it wrong for George Wright to once again be sitting with the Jamaica Labour Party together as one caucus in the House of Representatives? Is it the wrong move to readmit him to the party? The PNP Women's Caucus certainly feel that way.
It is a betrayal of every woman who has suffered in silence.
You cannot have a public display of violence being left without any kind of action or consequence.
Publicly apologize for the act.
An act of sanitization, a betrayal of all women. That's how the opposition People's National Party, PNP, has described the Jamaica Labour Party's JLP decision to readmit George Wright, the Member of Parliament for Westmoreland Central, following a viral video that showed a man believed to be Wright beating a woman with both his fists and a stool. The video, which circulated widely in 2021, sparked outrage and led to calls for Wright's resignation from the House of Representatives. While Wright has neither confirmed nor denied that he is the individual seen in the video, he has not faced any criminal charges. The incident led to complaints being filed by both Wright and his common law partner at the time. However, the case was closed after neither party pursued the matter further. Since the controversy, Wright has been sitting as an independent member of parliament representing Westmoreland Central, though he supports the JLP and has been seen at several conferences, including the JLP's annual 81st conference held last year. Over the weekend, the JLP confirmed Wright's return to the party fold, stating that mitigation actions had been taken in light of the incident, including counseling for Wright. Wright and the woman in the video later reconciled and married, according to reports. Despite this, the PNP has expressed strong disapproval of the decision, calling it a slap in the face to women, particularly those who have suffered from domestic violence. The party emphasized that the return of a man involved in such a violent incident sends a dangerous message to the public, particularly in a country with victims of domestic abuse.
Because this move of bringing George Wright as a current member of parliament for the Jamaica Labour Party after 4 years of silence is a slap in the face of all women and girls. It is another punch to the gut for every survivor of domestic violence, and in particular, those who are survivors of intimate partner violence.
The controversy surrounding Wright's readmission has sparked public debate, with some supporting his return and others condemning it. PNP Chairwoman Dr. Angela Brown-Burke reiterated the call for the impeachment bill to be passed into law. The bill was first introduced under the administration of former Prime Minister Bruce Golding in 2007 and was later tabled by opposition leader Mark Golding in 2021.
By that motion moved by Mr. Golding, that we are serious about it. Not just talking, but we want to do something about it. And in particular, we want to hold parliamentarians as leaders to lead by example.
The incident has once again placed the spotlight on domestic violence in Jamaica. The PNP has promised to pursue the matter until Wright is no longer in representative politics. Britannia Witter, CVM News.
All right, so the setup there, or putting in context what the issue is, we take our first break. When we come back, Patricia Duncan Sutherland, a member, well, the president of the PNP Women's Movement.
Join my private room. Only $1,000 for a grand time.
That I know me. Me never said that. But who going to believe me?
That is correct. $4,350,000. Yes, go ahead. $4 million? I never approved that.
Yes, me go doctor tomorrow. So me have to get the money today no longer. Then no me face that. Me never make no record or beg nobody no money.
Deepfakes are AI-generated images and videos made to look and sound like people we know and trust. They're used to spread misinformation, destroy reputations, and are used to commit fraud and scams. Don't fall victim to deepfakes. Protect yourself. For more information, visit broadcastingcommission.org or scan the QR code on screen.
We love our country. Like you, we take pride in building Jamaica. The resilience of our people is cemented in our products, built to last for generations. Laying the foundation for thriving communities, we're committed to excellence and quality. Quality products, quality relationships. We're all proud Jamaicans, working hard, doing good, building a sustainable future for all. That same unbeatable spirit runs through us. We are made of Jamaica.
Welcome back to Lead Story here on CVM TV. If you have your ears to the ground, they'll tell you that George Wright will be a hard man to dislodge from his Central Westmoreland seat come election day. That's how strong he is in the constituency, notwithstanding the challenge being posed by the former MP, the man who's likely to represent the PNP at the next general election, Dwayne Vaz. The PNP are gunning for the Westmoreland seats, for all the seats in Western Jamaica, the 2 in Hanover and the 3 in Westmoreland. And the experts say from this stage that while all of the other seats are vulnerable, it appears as if it will take something monumental to dislodge George Wright. And perhaps that's why the JLP have said yes to his application to rejoin the party after the domestic violence cloud that followed him for so long, sufficient for him to walk away from the Labour Party and to effectively sit in the House of Representatives as an independent. Patricia Duncan Sutherland and her colleagues in the PNP Women's Movement, they held a press conference earlier where they made their feelings known about George Wright, saying it was the wrong move on the part of the Labour Party to readmit him into the fold. She joins me this evening. Good evening, Patricia. Welcome to Lead Story on CVM TV. Are you hearing me?
Hearing you now.
There you go. Good. Good evening. I said good evening and happy to have you here.
Thank you very much, George. Good to be here. Not the circumstance that I would wish to talk to you on, but it's one that we must address.
Yes, and I can tell you publicly that anytime you are ready to talk about Eastern St. Andrew, I'm game for that discussion. That very important mission that you'll undertake.
George.
Excellent.
Always a good talk with you.
Excellent. So here we go now, Patricia. Please lay out the basis for this strong opposition from the women's movement to the readmission to the Labour Party for George Wright.
All right. So in 2021, when the video came out, and George Wright did not deny that he was the person in this video hitting a woman with a stool. And subsequently, we were told that this woman became his wife. But at that time, the party on April 16th said that George Wright would no longer be sitting with allegations. And these allegations remain unresolved because neither has he answered to the allegations, no amidst these allegations without making any comment, I would expect that he would then acknowledge that he was there, acknowledge having gone to the police station to say that he was attacked, then responded. He would then acknowledge that this is in fact wrong, that the act of violence against a woman is wrong, show remorse, look to get some counseling such that this does not become a normalized thing before choosing and before putting himself up to face the electorate again in an election. It is a very women in Jamaica, 30% of our women experience physical violence with their intimate partner. To normalize it with a politician and person who is supposed to represent the people without dealing with the matter does not work.
Yeah. So essentially, Patricia, you're saying that it's not the fact of George Wright being readmitted on the surface. It's more than that, because you're saying the lack of contrition, the lack of admission, and the lack of the completion of a process of repair. You're saying that fundamentally, that's the problem you have.
Fundamentally. So if at the time George Wright had even come out and said, yes, it was me, and I am going to work on this because I know that this is wrong, and show how he has worked on it, he could become an example, but he has not done this. Instead, he is an example for the wrong thing.
So effectively, you're saying
the act of pushing things under the carpet.
So effectively, you're saying that he has gotten a free pass back into the fold.
A free pass, and that free pass is at the expense of women who suffer on the hands of domestic violence. Because you see, there's such a shroud of shame around it, such a shroud of fear around it, where women are forced into silence as a result of who are victims of domestic violence. That when you reinforce it by saying it's okay, so we leave it alone for 4 years, and now it's fine, and can just come back and do what it need to do. It's actually abuse of power.
So what about those who say...
Mark Golding had introduced deal with issues like this. Because we must put integrity into our representatives.
What about those who would say, though, that while Patricia Duncan Sutherland says that George Wright didn't come out and say it was not him, the record shows that George Wright did not say it was him. So we're all operating under an assumption that it was him, because we don't know either way. They make the very important point, I believe, that no criminal charge was proffered. Therefore, if the law does not treat George Wright with suspicion and or like a criminal, why then should any process subject him to any undesirable feeling or status?
Well, you know, George, the truth is that George Wright went to the police station after the incident, and reported that he responded in kind because he was attacked by the woman. So without a charge being brought against him, he actually went to the police station, and there was an interview with a policeman on air that said he came to the police station and then he was putting forward a case of self-defense. So there are so he needs to bring the clarity around that, even around that statement. The fact that his now wife had gone and reported it. And I just want to point out, marrying the woman that you beat does not take away the act of domestic violence.
But Patricia, some people say hold on. Some people say to you that the woman he's alleged to have abused has moved on with him, has put that behind her, and has joined with him in holy matrimony. Why then are you holding the stance and carrying the line that you are? How you respond to that?
There are many women who are abused, who are unable to stand up to their abuser. And they start off with the abusive relationships when they are courting, and they end up marrying their abuser. This is not an unusual situation. And it is something that we have to help can eradicate this kind of relationship. And it does not help when a public figure does not acknowledge that it is wrong.
Yes.
And does not do something about it.
So here's the thing then. The obvious point to make is this.
30% of our women are beaten by men.
Yeah.
And then we have a politician, a representative,
Yes.
a member of parliament, and the party, the Andrew Holness-led party that he represented when he was elected, pulling him back into the fold.
But here's the thing, here's the point. I'm happy you went there. I'm happy you went there, Patricia. I'm happy you went there because people will say, well, hold on, man. Why is it that the PNP women's movement is on this sanctimonious high horse? That's what they are saying. When it is that none of their own who've been charged with domestic issues, and you know the names that they mentioned. They mentioned Natalie Nita Headley, they mentioned Michael Phillips, and they say, where was the public expression of contrition from those people? Where it is that they have acknowledged that they completed a course of action to move them away from the kind of action that got them into trouble in the first place. Where is that kind of action from them sufficient for the PNP to then ask George Wright to demonstrate similar to what they demonstrated when they were in trouble?
Well, two things. One, I am the president of the PNP Women's Movement now since 2020. This activity occurred under my watch. I cannot sit by and watch it happen and be silent. When, I don't know what year it was that you were talking about.
Michael Phillips was 2008.
2008.
Yes.
And when that occurred, I believe he went to court.
Yes.
And that was dealt with in the courts. There's a big difference here. This one has not been dealt with at all.
Except to say though, Patricia,
and
that
I did not, I am telling you,
Yeah.
I am not saying that he is the only man
Yes.
in Parliament that has ever.
Yeah, that's not your argument at all. But let me get
That's
this in
not my
quickly.
argument. My argument, he was alleged to be on
But he was charged, Patricia. Hold on, Patricia, remember, he was charged and the matter was disposed of by the court. It didn't proceed beyond the charges. But here's the thing, they're saying that yes, the matter was disposed of, but there was no public declaration by Mr. Phillips or Miss Nita of any contrition or process towards contrition sufficient for the PNP to ask for the same of George Wright. George Wright, they say, got counseling, got married, and he's come back. Phillips and Natalie Nita continued as they were.
George Wright got counseling,
Yes.
Nobody has told us, the public, that George Wright got counseling.
The JLP said so in a release they sent out yesterday.
No, he said there were mitigating circumstances.
Yeah, it did mention counseling and the fact of marriage. The statement did.
But the statement that I saw only had one line that said mitigating circumstances.
It said that earlier up in the statement.
But marriage does not take it away.
Yeah.
And I would say to you again.
Yes.
I have been president of the PNP Women's Movement since 2021. I deal with the issues that come before me because I now have a voice at a particular platform and a particular mandate to defend and stand up for Jamaican women and for a safe Jamaica for Jamaican
I hear you on that. I have to run. I'm out of time. I hear you on that, and I'm happy to get your voice and your opinion on the record. Thank you very much this evening, Patricia. And remember, we have a day to talk about Eastern St. Andrew.
Yes, we do.
All right. Thank you very much. Patricia Duncan Sutherland, president of the PNP Women's Movement. After the break, we'll hear from the JLP. Senator Abka Fitzhenry, Parliamentary Secretary in the Office of the Prime Minister, will respond.
The power of us. The power of us. I'm saying it one more time so it rings into your subconscious. The power of us. This is the theme for a Black History Month mini gala being put on by San Myrna Foundation. It's going to be held on Saturday the 22nd of February at the Police Officers Club at 34 Hope Road. Admission is $2,500. All proceeds go to charity. Stephen Golding, your guest speaker. Dee Burns, your special performer. And Miss Perdigran's son, your MC. Meet me there. Tickets available at Fontana Pharmacy in Waterloo and Barbican, Kaya Herb House on Lady Musgrave Road, and Amaraki Cafe by Constant Spring Golf Club.
Watch the exclusive broadcast on CVM as the Jamaica Tourist Board proudly presents the annual Golden Tourism Awards ceremony. This prestigious event is dedicated to honoring tourism workers who have served 50 years or more in the industry. In addition to recognizing long-standing contributions, we will also highlight hotel partners who have played a pivotal role in the growth of the industry. Tune in Wednesday, February 19 at 8 p.m. and be part of the celebration of these golden achievements.
So what does the government have to say about this George Wright affair? Well, the chairman of the Jamaica Labour Party's Communications Task Force, Senator Abka Fitz-Hen, he's also the Parliamentary Secretary in the Office of the Prime Minister, has stepped forward to present the government's position on this matter, to explain that. Good evening, Senator. Welcome to the program.
Good evening to you, George. Good evening to your listeners. But first, let me begin by saying that the Jamaica Labour Party takes very seriously the issue of domestic violence or gender-based violence, and a number of actions we have taken over the past few years, including the passage of the Sexual Harassment Act and amendments to the Domestic Violence Act made last year. And again, that act is under review, and we have established hotlines for victims to, provide a line of communication to access assistance. And shelters have been opened as well, provide some sort of sustenance, solace, and protection to victims of domestic abuse. The number of actions we have taken indicate how serious we are about treating with the matter of gender-based violence. That, I believe, is beyond debate, that this administration takes that matter very, very seriously. Regarding the matter of George Wright, accused in the public domain, but not legally, of being involved in this unfortunate incident. I can't speak to the matter of what Mr. Wright said when asked whether it was him. But what I can say is that he indicated that he has taken a number of mitigating actions, remedial actions, if you may, including counseling, which eventually led to marriage, and presented a case suggesting that he is in a space where he feels that he's a better man compared to many, a few years ago. And a political party is governed by the process of natural justice in terms of consideration of membership. The application went to the membership committee of the party and was considered, and a decision was made that given the mitigating circumstances alluded to and the entirety of the situation, his membership, his application to be reinstated should be accepted.
So Senator, when the PNP says that the problem they have with the whole affair is that George Wright did not, in their view, pursue or complete a process of reformation and reparation then. There was no penitence, no apology, no remorse expressed, and all he did was sit out for a few years and then bam, the JLP readmits him to the fold. Are they on strong ground?
Well, look, I've been advised that he's been asked by individuals and he has denied that he was the individual. I've been advised of that. I can't speak definitively to it. However, what I can say definitively, though, is that he indicated to the Jamaica Labour Party that he has taken a number of actions to make himself a better man, including extensive counselling and superintendence for members of the clergy, including a very senior clergyman in Westmoreland. So here's an individual who appears to have accepted that he had work to do to improve upon himself, and he has encountered or he has made himself available to these processes. And that process has led to him getting married, from all accounts, happily married. And he is willing and able to serve the people of Central Westmoreland, who are very welcoming. Based on all accounts.
Here's the thing, Senator. Here's the thing, Senator. The moral high ground, people would argue that the moral high ground in politics seems to be disappearing. It's being denuded by the actions of the two major political parties. What's your response to the claim that by virtue of this action, the JLP is further denuding the moral high ground that politicians ought to take in controversial matters?
Look, there is the moral high ground, there's also due process and natural justice. A political party has to balance those factors in considering an issue such as membership. Those factors were considered, and a decision was made to accept the application by Mr. Wright to have his membership reinstated. But George and our listeners, I don't want you to come away with the impression for one moment that we are dismissive of concerns regarding the readmission of George Wright, the Jamaica Labour Party, as a member. However, what I've outlined are a number of circumstances.
Yes.
Which led up to the decision, the call being made. To
The PNP
based
say...
on what was alleged, based on the processes the gentleman indicated that he submitted himself to,
yes,
and based on consultations in the parish with some of the senior clergymen who he indicated that he submitted himself to, and some of the professional councillors, a decision was made to readmit him to the Jamaica Labour Party.
PNP say, Senator...
the argument...
The PNP say that the JLP can't compare the George Wright issue to the fact of Isaac Buchanan's pending candidacy in Eastern Portland. You can't compare it to what Natalie Nita did, where punching that gentleman is concerned, nor for what Michael Phillips is accused of doing and was charged with domestic abuse. They're saying that those aren't fit and proper comparisons.
You know, I'm going to agree with the PNP, but guess what? The basis on which I agree with them is that the difference with George Wright's situation and those you just alluded to, that the individuals were placed before a court of law. Michael Phillips, Natalie Nita, Isaac Buchanan, and there are other instances where members of the PNP were arrested and charged for assault in Mrs. Nita Garvey's case. In Mr. Phillips's case, he was charged for assault, occasioning bodily harm. And where the PNP runs into a challenge, George, and you see the feedback on social media, you know, on the articles concerning the press conference they had today, is that there's an element of hypocrisy at play, because at no time did any member of the PNP issue any statement regarding Mr. Phillips or Ms. Nita, who were arrested, charged, and placed before the court. In fact, I'd endeavor to say that the Jamaica Labour Party has taken strong action in the face of weaker evidence or circumstances against Mr. Wright compared to anything the PNP did in relation to those two individuals who were arrested and charged and placed before the court.
Senator...
The Jamaica Labour Party rescinded Mr. Wright's membership.
Yes.
In the instance of of Phillips and Nita Headley, or Nita Garvey, I beg your pardon, the PNP Women's Movement did not utter one word. And that is why, George, is why Jill Public is looking on.
Yes.
If you have 500 comments on the Gleaner article regarding their press conference, which usually the comments on the Gleaner article, for one reason or the next, are favorable to the PNP. But the majority of them, about 450 of them, are negative. And
We'll book it straight to Sunrise. We'll book it straight to Sunrise Book Club. We're switching up the pace with Mojo Morgan of Morgan Heritage. And we'll wrap the show with a little fun in Free Zone. You've never seen a sunrise quite like this.
Open a Sagicor Bank savings account from anywhere. Go online and open yours today.
The time by Sagicor Bank is
7 o'clock.
CVM News at 7 Wednesday, courtesy of...
Your love lives on with life insurance from Sagicor.
Tonight in CVM News at 7, chaos erupts at Portmore Parish meeting. $2 billion transport upgrade for the JCF. And government moves to clear $140 billion in tax arrears. In Living the Life, we ask, why not 100? While in sports, Dun Beholden now 5 games unbeaten in JPL. From Kingston, Jamaica, it's Wednesday, February 19, 2025. Thanks so much for having joined us on CVM News at 7. I'm Nika Lewis. What started as a community forum on Portmore's future morphed into complete disorder and confusion as JLP and PNP supporters clashed during the stakeholders meeting on Tuesday night, which forced the intervention of the police. Shante McNeil joins us on set with the details.
That's right, Nika. Now, what was meant to be a constructive discussion on Portmore's parish status turned into a political showdown. MP Alando Terrelong faced a hostile crowd as questions over public consultation ignited tensions. Here's how it all unfolded.
Tension was running high at the Portmore Municipal Office Tuesday night during a stakeholders meeting on the proposed parish status for Portmore. The meeting, meant to address residents' concerns about the bill, descended into chaos when St. Catherine East Central MP Alando Terrelong attempted to respond to questions about public consultation.
All the parliamentarians, including Member Jackson, myself, Member Miller, we were all there in Parliament at the Joint Select Committee, where we discussed the issues of Portmore becoming a parish.
Efforts by the meeting's moderator, Reverend Dr. Alvin Bailey, to restore order failed as it is alleged JLP supporters entered the packed venue waving placards in support of the government, while others surrounded Terrelong chanting. The clash between supporters of both parties forced an early end to the meeting, with police stepping in to de-escalate the situation. The PNP later hosted a separate forum where Mayor Leon Thomas condemned what he called a deliberate attempt by the JLP to disrupt proceedings and bringing in supporters from outside the parish, but he vowed not to be intimidated.
The people's business in Portmore won't be railroaded. At no time, we are going to make certain that the people have a forum to voice their concern and their opinion.
Meanwhile, MP for St. Catherine Southern, Fitz Jackson, argued the bill is less about Portmore's future and more about securing Terrelong's seat, pointing to a statement last year by Everald Warmington suggesting the JLP wanted to create a stronghold in the parish.
They have done their polls and they realize that the incumbent MP cannot survive the next election. That was going to be my next question. So that's the urgency of doing this. If it wasn't, they could easily wait until the next election.
Councillor for Waterford, Fenley Douglas, says he doesn't oppose the move, but warns the government must first address pressing development needs.
Currently, if we should become a parish, what is it Portmore will be known for? What will be our niche? Where would the economic hub of Portmore be? Or is it that we're just going to be another parish and over time we just dwindle away like a St. Thomas?
He insists Portmore's promised upgrades must come before parish status. The bill now heads to the Senate with a debate timeline yet to be decided. Shante McNeil, CVM News.
Following the abrupt end to Portmore's stakeholders meeting, St. Catherine East Central Member of Parliament Alando Terrelong has accused the PNP of staging the disruption to create the false impression of widespread opposition to the parish bill.
The MP Robert Miller or I were invited to this meeting. Councillor Damara Lawson herself was not invited to the meeting. We heard about the meeting. When I got to the meeting yesterday, I left Parliament, went to the meeting. I asked the mayor. I said, was MP Robert Miller invited to the meeting? He said he wasn't sure. Later on in the meeting, I heard them say, they told the councillors, and they would have hoped that councillors would have told MPs. Again, disingenuous. So they planned a narrative with the media, as in by inviting the media as well, to show that people were not in support of parish status.
But the PNP's St. Catherine East Central aspirant, Raymond Price, is dismissing those claims.
The Portmore Municipal Council has 12 councillors, 9 of which are from the PNP and 3 are from the JLP. All 3 from the JLP were there, and on the mayor's word, all 12 councillors, including the 3 JLP councillors who were in attendance, were invited. I think it would be odd if the mayor would have invited Minister Desmond McKenzie and not invited the JLP MPs. But again, I can't speak for whatever a fantasist wants to create as their reality. I can't help them.
In other news now, the government is moving to clear nearly $140 billion in tax arrears with a new special settlement program. But as it offers relief to taxpayers, it's also facing tough questions about its budget and public sector wage demands. Ramon Gordon reports.
The government is looking to settle almost $140 billion in outstanding tax arrears through a newly launched Special Arrears Settlement Program. Finance Minister Favour Williams made the announcement during a post-cabinet press briefing Wednesday, outlining a bold initiative to waive penalties, interest and subcharges for taxpayers who cleared their principal debt by March 31, 2025.
You are not going to believe this number, but it's approximately $139.3 billion. 42.5% of that is greater than 7 years old.
The program is aimed at easing the financial burden on those who have struggled under recent economic shocks, including hurricanes, droughts, and the COVID-19 pandemic. Jamaica's tax arrears, currently at 23%, are more than double the international standard of 10%, making intervention critical.
Over 30,000 taxpayers are expected to benefit. Already, the TAJ is in touch with over 7,500 taxpayers. If your case is under objection, you can still qualify for the waiver. If your case is under appeal, you can still qualify for the waiver.
But with billions still on the line, the government is also facing questions about its budget and its ability to meet public sector wage demands. On the heels of nationwide protests by nurses over wage issues, Williams distanced the finance ministry from direct involvement.
I know that they have been in communication with the Minister of Health and Wellness. I am not aware that it is the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service that's the issue here. I am made to aware it's more internal to the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
At the same time, budget reductions have sparked concerns about how much room the government has to negotiate new wage agreements. Williams says that while adjustments have been made, overall spending remains on an upward trajectory.
If you look at the capital budget that was initially put forward during the budget season in 2024-25, you will note that it was in the 60-ish billion range. It was during the fiscal year 24-25, that the capital budget was increased to the 80 billion mark, and that's about an increase of almost 1.5%.
As for public sector wages, the government says it remains committed to dialogue, but fiscal realities will dictate the terms. Ramon Gordon for CVM News.
Stay with us for more CVM News at 7 in a moment.
Auto insurance? Advantage General puts you in the driver's seat. With Advantage General Online, you've got the green light to request a quote, get insurance, submit claims, even pay your premiums online. Go from zero to insured in 10 minutes.
All done.
Advantage General, a member of Sagicor Group Jamaica.
The power of us. The power of us. I'm saying it one more time so it rings into your subconscious. The power of us. This is the theme for a Black History Month mini gala being put on by San Myrna Foundation. It's going to be held on Saturday the 22nd of February at the Police Officers Club at 34 Hope Road. Admission is $2,500. All proceeds go to charity. Stephen Golding, your guest speaker. Dee Burns, your special performer. And Miss Perdigran's son, your MC. Meet me there. Tickets available at Fontana Pharmacy in Waterloo and Barbican, Kaya Herb House on Lady Musgrave Road, and Amaraki Cafe by Constant Spring Golf Club.
Welcome back to CVM News at 7. National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang is assuring criminals in Jamaica that with added resources to the tune of $2 billion in transportation for the police force, they will be found and brought to justice. This as he addressed stakeholders at a vehicle commissioning service today in Kingston. It's not a common activity so close to the end of a budget period, but according to the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of National Security, it's confirmation that the government is committing to ridding the nation of crime. How? Bolstering the constabulary force with crucial transportation, including motorcycles, to the tune of $2 billion.
Today's particularly special for more than one reason. The numbers are good. I think we are 200 vehicles, including 90 bikes, and that we want to highlight it. The cost is running nearly $2 billion, which is a significant investment in any language and in any kind of activity. And we want to demonstrate as a government. So that was the ministry, said I represent the Prime Minister, and the going to in fact set the stage by recognizing and establishing as part of the government parts that security, public security is a priority for the government.
He notes the continued attacks on civilians by deviants on motorcycles, making the bikes crucial investments towards their capture.
The transportation is critical, and I'm particularly happy to see the bikes. We know that as the police improve and identify the players, they change the means. And among the things they will do is run over Kingston with bikes and try to apprehend and they do carry out criminal activity, from picking people's handbags off them driving past to actually shooting individuals as they ride past the cars and try to escape in the traffic. What I've seen, I would have to go have audio demonstration, the quality of training given to our bike riders in the care team from Mackenzie's here. So I have no fear that once these bikes are on the road, we'll find them whether they're young or big bikes.
However, his message of assurance that criminals will be pursued using the technology and vehicles at the force's disposal could be described as controversial by the critics.
Wherever they go, you'll find them and we'll bring them in, one way or the other. Whether we bring them in the pickup that come behind us in the car, I don't want to come on a stretcher, it's their business. I don't promise that, right? But we'll find them and bring them in.
The minister, however, notes the fate of a criminal can be improved if and when encountered by the authorities they comply, reminding that the justice system has several resources from which they can benefit when brought before the court. Tensions flared at the latest Clarendon municipal meeting as councillors clashed with the president of the Association of Local Government Authorities, demanding a tabling of Alga J's financial reports. The heated exchange, which some claim is politically motivated, stemmed from an eruptive association annual general meeting, AGM, in Manchester recently. The matter has since drawn the attention of the local government minister. Courtney Lewis has more.
It's a case of he said, she said, except this time between Clarendon councillors and the president of the Association of Local Government Authorities, Alga J, Winston Mirage. The latest municipal meeting saw a heated exchange as councillors challenged the president to table the organization's financial reports.
And if you had 7 years of report, it means one of two things. You deliberately tried to keep it from us. And the second thing is that you had no intention. If you had the report, why never come and table?
The push for the president to table the reports was ongoing by not just Bailey, but Councillor Cian Barneswell. The initial tabling was bypassed at an AGM in January, leading to an abrupt ending to Alga's AGM that month.
It was explained to Councillor Barneswell before the meeting that we have all the other reports. They would have been approved and passed by the executive body at our regular meetings. And so the only one that will be presented to the members that day would have been the last year report.
Mirage insinuates the disruption was the PNP's councillors playing politics, as the upset arose when it was time to elect officers. The PNP's Cian Barneswell is the aspiring president.
It would really look bad for it to be seen in the public and on the news media that the People's National Party would have lost their first election for 2025.
The local government minister has since called a meeting with Alga J executives on the matter.
And what we are seeing happening is this fight for power. And it is not serving the interests of local government. It might serve personal interests, but not the overall benefit of local government.
Courtney Lewis for CVM News.
Well, Courtney Lewis has more from this because Jamaica's tourism sector is embracing digital transformation and innovation to boost resilience and sustainability, especially as climate change persists amid countries recovering from COVID-19. Even after years, the tourism minister underscored the importance of the move at day one of the 3-day Tourism Resilience Conference in Montego Bay. Here again is Courtney Lewis.
The tourism industry is taking a new approach this year, focusing on digital transformation and innovation. Speaking at the third staging of the Global Tourism Resilience Conference and Expo, Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett says it's time to capitalize on technology to strengthen the sector.
We must harness innovation, champion sustainability, and foster collaboration across all sectors to ensure that the next crisis, whatever form it takes, does not cripple our progress, but rather spurs our creativity.
It's why he singled out the importance of Jamaica's Global Tourism Resilience and Crisis Management Center and lauded its expansion worldwide as a network for crisis management and risk reduction globally.
Now we are pleased to announce a new frontier of work focusing on digital resilience. Global Tourism Resilience and Crisis Management will be rolling out a series of AI-driven initiatives designed to enhance destinations worldwide, from dedicated training and capacity building programs to thought leadership and advocacy efforts.
The minister notes the latest initiatives should equip stakeholders to have more inclusivity and sustainability in building climate resilience. But how will technology like artificial intelligence and real-time data analysis boost Jamaican tourism in lieu of climate change?
And by weaving these digital tools into tourism strategies, we can foresee disruptions, respond effectively to crises, and ensure the continuity of this vital sector.
Bartlett maintains continued partnership with public and private agencies can also further prepare countries across the Caribbean for health crises and build entrepreneurial spirit.
Through collaboration with the Caribbean Public Health Agency, CARFA, we develop guidelines and framework to prepare destinations for health emergencies, enabling them to weather the storm of COVID-19 and any further pandemics more effectively.
Courtney Lewis for CVM News.
And ahead of the break, we are joined in studio by Jordan Fort for a preview of what's to come in sports.
Well, Nika, Royal Lakes recently had a court ruling in their favor, which would have seen them reinstated to the St. Catherine FA Major League, but they say they are yet to hear from the Parent Association. I'll tell you more about that in sports. Plus, of course, JPL midweek action, and we're hearing from Paul Teagat Davis, who was recently announced as the head coach of Montego Bay United.
Lots of exciting things to come in sports. Thanks, Jordan. But there's more to come right after this break.
Highway gave me the opportunity to earn a living. I get to meet and interact with some of the best people passing through the toll plaza. I am happy to serve.
We started in 2003 with a vision for making Jamaicans' lives easier, and we'll never stop working for you. Our new vision involves building a legacy of excellence that inspires and empowers our customers and stakeholders. Highway 2000 East-West is now Trans Jam Highways for your best journey.
The future is here with Infinity Cooperative Credit Union Jamaica Limited. Educom and Gateway have joined forces to bring you more convenience, innovation, and opportunities to achieve your dreams. Enjoy excellent service and seamless financial solutions, all designed for your lifestyle. Whether it's loans, savings, or insurance, we're here to make your financial journey effortless. Infinity Cooperative Credit Union Jamaica Limited, where possibilities are endless.
Sports should be fun. Sports should be interesting. Sports should be entertaining. Sports should be riveting. This is CVM Sports. I'm Jordan Fort.
Welcome back. How ironic that on a program focusing on longevity, the question this evening, why not 100? That question became necessary based on the conversation with someone who is only 2 years out. Apart from damaging one eye when she fell and not being able to walk around outside with assistance, well, mommy is still very active inside the house. And as you watch, ask yourself, how essential is it to respect the perspective of others regarding life expectancy? Carolyn Brown picks up her conversation with a senior who has been living the life.
Living the life defies time and laws, surpasses storms, hurricanes, wars, recession, pandemics.
In 2022, a plaque presented to Mammy Evelyn Williams from her church and the wider community, among other characteristics, hailed her as a cheerful, prayerful, no-nonsense, hard-working deacon and matriarch.
I do a lot of work, just work. Make my children happy. Send them to school, feed them. Make them independent. I never want no dance. And I want them to go proper. You know, Sunday school, they go in church. Yeah, they go in church also. I work until now. My children then just sit down. No, I want my hand for doing something all the time. I can't sit down for 20 minutes, you know. But they're wasting that time sitting down.
But what keeps you going?
I don't know. They go to the doctor in America. The doctor asks them, what you eat? Tell me what you eat. I can't eat it and look like you. One of the doctors said, bring your certificate, come. I look on my jacket. I said, bring your certificate. After he said, I'm just kidding. So you look at that age. Give my doctor at Lindsay last week.
So what do you eat?
They like anybody like banana, any food, but me like food.
Which tells me then, I mean, you like to cook?
Yes.
What do you love to cook?
I love to cook everything. Everything. Just give me the food and tell me what you want. Just say I want that, I want that, I want to cook that way. It's there to cook. I love to cook, but I don't love to share food.
So you're just going to cook and leave the kitchen? Everybody
serve yourself.
Well, true to form, on a rainy afternoon when Mammy had no idea we were visiting, inside her kitchen, a big pot of soup for 3. Now, at that time of day, dinner is far from ready in most households.
It's one thing I can't do, it's Parkland. But I love to do everything. And I never, when I got sent, I never wake up morning and say, boy, it may feel lazy. No, I must be sick. Sick, never. I never experienced lazy yet. No, until now. And I don't want sunshine in my bed. Even in the day. And I prefer stairs, and I doze about, not going in the bed. No, by the time I make up my bed in the morning, I sit that until the night. No, and I must keep going around every day. Every day, I must find something to do.
Is that something that your mother taught you about making that bed and not going back in it until bedtime again?
It was on this topic of being self-reliant, Mammy, 6 days into her new milestone, dropped a bombshell.
I do everything by myself. Wash my clothes, I cook my own food. So that's why I always said I wouldn't like to live to see 100. But if I want to be independent, or cook my breakfast, cook my dinner, cook everything, and if me live that age, I can't cook my food. Because my food is so important to me. I like something good and taste good. So I still take a smart even I cook. I want to monitor it too. I want to.
You're totally hands-on. Well, look at it. You're 98 now. That landmark is not very far away. Are you ready to go? If God were to say, well, you know, when He calls, we have to answer.
Ready.
Tell me that feeling of readiness. Tell me about that feeling of readiness.
To go? I try to live this life. That every time it comes, I'm just ready and waiting.
No wonder she hits the notes of her favorite song so convincingly.
It is well with my soul.
I've heard that song repeatedly, but never has the meaning and the message been so profound. She says, it is well with her soul. Reporting for Living the Life, CVM News.
Living the life defies time and laws, surpasses storms, hurricanes, wars, recession, pandemics.
With that, we take a quick one. We'll be right back.
Need auto insurance? Advantage General puts you in the driver's seat. With Advantage General Online, you've got the green light to request a quote, get insurance, submit claims, even pay your premiums online. Go from zero to insured in 10 minutes.
All done.
Advantage General, a member of Sagicor Group Jamaica.
Do whatever the crunch you want with KFC's popcorn chicken. Now available in hot and spicy. KFC, it's finger licking good. The time by KFC is
7:30.
At Hypro, farming is in our DNA, so we know the value of all you do. Whether you're an experienced farmer the farmer just starting out, or the farmer looking to shake things up. We are here to support you at every step, providing high-quality feeds, chicks, farm supplies, and technical support whenever you need. From chickens to livestock to crops, choose Hypro. Let's get it done together.
Thanks to my Prime Minister for this opportunity. For me, to be a homeholder.
I was living in a terrible condition for so many years. Thank you again.
We just try to make life go on with the little that we have.
It is the aspiration of the government. It is what the government tries to do every day, to lift people out of poverty into a decent life. The new social housing program is a key component of the social safety net.
As I've always said, this is probably one of the most fulfilling programs for me, because you literally see the transformation of people's lives.
Welcome back. It's now time for the Business Report with Joel Crosskill.
Lots to share with you in the Business Report today. As One Great Studio Company Limited, 1GS, advanced its ambition of becoming the premier digital agency in the Caribbean with the purchase of DRT Communications Limited. Javaine Brown, CEO of 1GS, and Danielle Terlong, founder of DRT Communications, spoke to the significance of the acquisition, valued at Jamaican $115 million, including a performance-based earnout over 3 years.
This is a very strategic move for DRT Communications. Our vision has always been to expand throughout the Caribbean. That expansion, of course, includes an expansion of team. Now, our 19 team members, including me, will be going under the parent company of One Great Studio. And that was a big part of this acquisition, what was important for me. It was also important that the values and mission of how One Great Studio is people first, their value first, and that is also how DRT Communications operates.
When we were looking for an agency to acquire in Jamaica, like one of the things that we wanted is an agency with a strong brand. We found that in DRT. We also really love the service lines. We love PR. Like PR is something that I think is super important, especially for businesses. You know, every time we have coverage and we have like PR coverage, we see leads coming in through our door, right? So PR is big in Jamaica. It still works, and we love that.
Founded in 2008, DRT has built a reputation for developing marketing communication strategies for over 100 brands. Interestingly, though, the two companies previously only shared 2 clients between them. Terlong will, however, continue in a leadership role as head of marketing communications, PR, strategic communications, and media monitoring at 1GS, ensuring a smooth transition for existing clients.
The fantastic thing about this acquisition is that we are still going to be serving our clients in the same exact way, because the entire team is going across. So our clients have gotten used to working with all our team members with the expertise that we bring. So all the same services and more is what this really and truly means for our clients. It's going to be more value-added services, but also the comfort of knowing you're still going to be served by the same exact team, the same exact technology, just a matter of growth and growth opportunities. 1GS
listed on the JSE's junior market in 2023 and now has total assets of $655 million, while reporting revenues of $261.5 million and net profits of $30.6 million Jamaican dollars for the 9-month ending September 30, 2024. It sees the acquisition as a significant catalyst towards ambitions of regional expansion.
What we want to be is a house of brands, a house of agency brands, with each brand focused on a specific service niche, right? So for example, we have one brand focused on SEO, one brand focused on websites, one brand now focused on communications, PR, and media monitoring, right? And what we want to have is a group of brands. Our objective is to be the largest, most capable, and profitable agency in the Caribbean, right? And I tell people all the time, profitable agencies are going to be there to serve you longer. So it's actually better for everybody if we can be a profitable agency, right? So I think it means just a stronger team, a team that is more resilient, that can withstand different things, and more diversified as well.
In leveraging their new resources towards an era of innovation, both Brown and Terrelong say they remain committed to the creed of client first.
In the service business, that there is expertise that comes from specialization, right? And so when you have people who focus on one thing, you tend to end up with better service, right? So you've heard them say, jack of all trades, master of none. In this case, what we want to be is masters of our trade, right? And have different brands that focus on specific service lines. And then when we put it all together, we can have the teams working together. So that's kind of how we vision ourselves, being a full service agency, but yet still very competent and proficient in every single service line that we're delivering.
It really is, an amazing and a great moment. It's an honor. The entire transaction facilitated by Hartmere, Hidfata, Myers, Fletcher and Gordon, and arranged by Ryan Strawn has been seamless. It has been a time of working together, creating excellent synergy the whole way through, and just a real opportunity to stamp the Caribbean with this house of brands with a level of expertise that we know the market is ready for, with technology-based, with analysis, and with creative. There's really nothing to stop us now.
And that was your business report. I'm Joel Crosskill.
A quick glance at social media.
So, what's trending in our local social media spaces? Dancehall entertainer Lisa Hyper was taken into custody by authorities at Kingston's Norman Manley International Airport on Tuesday evening, following an alleged altercation with an airport staff member. Here are some of your comments. At Locks and Beard Co. says, anyone who has ever had to deal with a mentally ill loved one will know this is no laughing matter. At Versicava comments, please let us pray for Lisa. Obviously, she's going through something. At Jordan Crosskill adds, mental health is real and should never be taken lightly. Fun and jokes aside, it's important and can be truly life-saving or changing if we start building more dialogue around that topic. At Jevon_Valentino posts, these are serious times. Let's lift her up in prayer. She's going through something that's deeper than we know. At P22 writes, people need to stop making excuses and start own up to them bad behavior. At Tempest shares, she needs a hug. And then conservatorship. Her music is actually pretty good, but antics like these will take away the attention from it. And that's what's trending online today. Continue to share your thoughts with us on X at CVM TV and CVM Television on Facebook. I'm Courtney Lewis.
Stay with us for sports with Jordan Fort up next.
Allowed me to finally own a home. Hallelujah. Kingston was so congested and houses were so expensive. The highway made it possible for me to buy something in a peaceful area